UFC 271. It didn't fail to disappoint, boys. We spoke at the start of the podcast about the interest from people from down under. Obviously, 3 of the 4 people in the main events were from Australia or New Zealand, or possibly both. Yep. Or possibly a little bit of Nigeria thrown in there with a little bit of New Zealand influence. Let's talk about we're going to go top to bottom this time rather than bottom to top. I think that's a good way to do it. Let's talk about the title fight, the main event of the night. Israel Adesanya, and still he's got the best of Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker, twice. He won it 48-47, 48-47, 49-46.
Yep.
What do we make
of
it?
Went the distance this round?
Went the distance, much improved showing from Robert Whittaker. What do we think of this fight, boys?
I had 2 thoughts on this. I had Izzy winning. I thought Izzy won. Pretty handily.
As we all did, yeah.
Yeah, well, this fight. But then I was thinking back on it, and I was like, those last 3 rounds, Izzy only threw calf kicks, left high kick, and a couple of jabs throughout those rounds. It was like, I could see why Whittaker thought he'd won that with his wrestling. It was a super technical fight. It was really close. I think Israel with his strikes did, outscored him through those later rounds. But it was a lot closer than I think a lot of people kind of realise. And, these 2 are the top 2 in the division.
By far.
Yeah, because Whittaker beat the 2 guys that we'll talk about in a minute as well to keep that first spot. So it wouldn't surprise me if there'll be a 3rd fight for these guys. They're the top there. And I think...
Is that what you think?
Yeah, easy.
They'll go...
Definitely.
I think... And we will chop and change a little bit here. I think Cannonier's got a leg to stand on in wanting Izzy next.
Yeah, he'll get Izzy next, definitely.
And then Whittaker coming back for a third
Whittaker's
fight.
already beat Cannonier, so that's how he got this rematch. So he's clearly still the number 1 contender.
Yeah, sure.
In my mind, going up against Izzy, and he kind of proved it in this fight as well that he can compete. But much better game plan in this one, more tactical. I thought he should have probably let the right hand go a bit more towards the end of the fight, but otherwise it was, a really, really technical fight where they, working each other's, working within what they could do without, getting each other killed.
You keep using this word technical. Did you find it boring at all?
No, not at all.
That is the word that has been thrown out a little bit in social media.
So
casual.
If you know what you're looking at, no, it was.
And here's the thing.
It was definitely worth.
If you're Israel Adesanya and you've got a 7-inch reach advantage and you can sit back and calf kick the fuck out of someone and have good takedown defense, why do you have to go out and start, gunslinging and trying to take the foot? Just sit back and win. And John Jones won a lot of fights like that.
But the risk though is in this is like you lose on points because there was definitely, you could make the argument in some of those rounds that with Whittaker doing the takedowns and kind of controlling it against the cage, that like he was trying to push the agenda and trying to push it there. Whereas Israel was more comfortable to maintain his position and maintain his distance like you're talking about. So you could view it in that way that, hey, maybe he didn't do enough for me. He's a champion. If the roles would reverse...
Yeah, you got to beat the champ to be the champ.
If the roles were reversed and Whittaker was a champ, you probably don't give it to Israel for not doing enough. So
yeah, possibly.
But that's how close this fight was.
I think Izzy won it. But
I do agree.
Did you reckon 3 rounds to 2 or 4 rounds to 1?
No, 3-2.
3-2. I agree. I think that 2nd round and that 5th round, I think Bobby had him where he took him down.
Yeah.
I think,
and then you got to worry. That's why you got to worry about 3 and 4. Where it's just like you could maybe see one go and the other. Like they were super close. So.
Yeah, it was. But there was never any point where you're like, oh, Izzy's in big danger here. No. Do you know what I mean?
Like, well, and same. I'd say also the same for Whittaker. Outside of the first round where he got knocked down, with I think he got surprised more than that jab than anything.
That was the difference, wasn't it? The first round was the massive difference.
That was a clear win for Israel there. But outside of that, round 2, Bobby kind of looked dejected, but then he just kind of worked into his game plan, and then it started working, and he fought a lot better 3, 4, and 5. So. And of course, 5 being his best round out of the lot. I think Robert would take confidence in that and then hopefully lead off the 5th round into whatever is a future fight between the 2 of them.
We're just looking at
1, 2, and 3.
The numbers now. Round 4 was was to Whittaker, I'd say. He had
That's
most
what I'm saying.
strikes,
Like you could debate.
most significant strikes he had to take
It
down.
was really close. It was way closer.
And that's why in his head he thought he'd won the fight.
Yeah.
Because I thought like Robert, when I was watching it like instantly when they announced it, I was like, I didn't think you did enough, Robert. And then as I started thinking it back, and I was like, well, what did Izzy do? And then the same thing is like he did the calf kicks. I didn't telegraph it, but he had the lightning left high kick, which never really landed. Always landed on the glove for Robert. So, and then he was tactical in his jabs and to keep pushing him back. Like he definitely was controlling the fight, but maybe didn't do enough. And like I said, if the roles were reversed, maybe it's a different decision.
Yeah.
But hey,
Interesting take. Because I when I was watching it live, I was like, Izzy's won this fight.
and same.
But it was close. And maybe a little bit too close for comfort for the champ.
Yeah. Upon reflection, I was like,
And I can see why Bobby in his head thought that he might have won the fight. Because watching it, I was like, come on. Like,
you haven't done enough.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't think so.
agree
I
on
didn't
that.
think so. But awesome to see the UFC in Houston, 271. You've got an Australian taking on a Kiwi/Nigerian, and then the other fight was an Australian taking on an American and an absolute
Well, Derek Lewis, Houston
bombshell
native as well.
Yeah, that's right. Crowd favourite. We're happy with the middleweight.
Yes, we'll move on. Yep.
Oh, actually, just one more thing going forward. Cannonier,
He's next. Yeah.
he's next. Has to be the killer gorilla. We'll talk about his fight in a second. I think that's has to be what happens. Tai Tuivasa, Western Sydney, from the area. A show. Boys, I was concerned for his health going into this fight. I thought it was too big a step up.
Big step up.
Going from being the 11th ranked to taking on the 3rd ranked in the heavyweight arena. The man that is I'll say it, one of if not the best knockout artists in the UFC, in Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, and he worked him in the first round and most of the second. He was getting worked over, and then what an absolute chin on Tuivasa to survive those shots, and then got him with that elbow.
Yeah, that was
Thoughts?
That was probably the main thing, was he's being able to withstand some of that punishment. I don't think Derek ever really kind of jumped. Besides, like had Tua in a spot where I was really worried. I think when they got him taken down,
I was concerned
in that first round when they took him down and he was throwing those shots, and then Tua was working his way up. Yeah, I was a bit worried there, but after that, Tua kind of seemed to like he was getting into it more, and it was more of a dogfight, which I think probably suits his style more. I guess, like we've talked last week in the preview, when the bazookas come out, you just it's whoever lands is gonna win this.
Indeed, yeah.
And Tua, I think, backs his chin and likes to get into that kind of dogfight and suckered Lewis into it. Lewis kind of thought he was landing, and then Tua, I think, got him with a nice little straight, got him against the cage, and then the elbow, which ended it all.
It turned so quick. It turned so quickly. Like I was sitting there like, oh my God, I'm scared, I'm scared. And then within 15 seconds, it went from the Tuivasa being absolutely on the ropes to turning it and getting that elbow and dropping the Black Beast.
Well, that's the heavyweight division for you.
Yeah.
So
I think the odds beforehand was fight to go the distance was paying about $5.
Yeah.
5-1 for 15 minutes.
That's it.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, I remember last week we were talking, it was going to be Lewis in the first round.
And he went fucking close. Like Ty's chin actually saved him.
Yeah.
Like a lot of most mere mortals go straight to the ambulance and straight to the hospital.
Turn to dust.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
I think video came out during the week of him sparring with Mark Hunt in the past, back when Tua's fat boy Tua, like even bigger than he is now. And yeah, Mark Hunt's working him, and he throws like this, goes to the body shot, and it comes with the top over the hand right and lands it clean onto his chin, and he just eats it.
It just eats it.
But train with a bloke like Mark Hunt will definitely give you work on your chin, and
fucking oath.
It helped him here, and he has been rewarded with the ranking. He's now ranked 3.
Yeah, so he jumps.
Yeah.
He absolutely catapults up the rankings.
8
Monk.
spots.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind just running us through those. So Derek Lewis loses his 3rd place ranking.
Yep.
And Ty, the bloke that was unranked 2 fights ago, and we were saying, Dana White, show us some respect down under. Give this man a ranking. He goes from unranked 2 fights ago to being the 3rd ranked heavyweight in the UFC.
So what do you got? Gain and Stipe in front of him.
Yeah. So obviously Ngannou's champion. Then we've got Gain number 1, Stipe number 2. Tuivasa is 3, jumping up those 8 spots.
Curtis Razor Blades.
Yeah, so
sitting as 4, and
because Curtis was pushing for the next title fight straight after this as well. It's like, hey, when am I going to get that title shot? Because I think maybe he's now worried that Tua's kind of working his way into that conversation. I think
he needs to beat one of those gatekeepers. Obviously,
Stipe,
Stipe or Cyril or someone.
Yeah, so
someone
it'll be Stipe versus either Blades or Tua for potential heavyweight fight. So that's where I think we're currently at. So whether that's...
Do you think he's at that level yet?
No, I think Stipe hits Tua alive because it's a different type of fight for him.
Yeah, he's... Like we saw Ngannou in the last fight, just becomes so much more technical.
Yeah.
Even utilizing some wrestling and stuff as well.
The way Stipe fights doesn't lead well to the way that Tua wants to fight a heavyweight fight currently.
Yeah.
So I think Tua could beat Curtis. I think Tua could beat Curtis Blades on the feet because Curtis has a bit of a glass chin. But Curtis could out wrestle the shit out of him. That's Curtis's game plan. He's not out there to knock people out. He's going to just come forward, take you down, and then that's all she wrote. And I'm not sure if, what Tua's definitely be better at that, but whether he could compete with a elite wrestler like Curtis. But then Stipe's just different again. He's more of a masterful tactician in the ring than what say Tua is currently. So. You never know. Again, it's heavyweight. You might walk out there and just staunch either one of those blokes and be like, and Ngannou, I want you next. And that's all she wrote. Yeah. It's the heavyweight division. That's what happened. Mark Hunt, I went on the exact same run. You got to remember that.
Yeah,
he just knocked out everyone they put in front of him. Didn't matter who it was. As long as he was getting the knockouts.
Big Roy Nelson as well.
Yeah. Big country.
Yeah, that's it.
Ascended very quickly and then disappeared just as quickly as well. But that's what you get at that
so
division, isn't it?
So I think Tua is currently on the 2nd longest win streak in the heavyweight division behind Francis.
And he's got the longest active knockout streak in the UFC.
Yep.
5 in a row. Let's go.
Got some hands.
Cannonier Brunson, what do we think? The Killer Gorilla, he actually got smacked. Big time rigs. How these guys are in the middleweight division. When you look at, like, no offense to Bobby Knuckles and Izzy, these guys look fucking huge at 185. Jeez, they must be.
Cannonier looks bigger than Bronson as well.
Doesn't? Yeah. How much weight do they cut? What are they stepping in?
20 pounds easy.
They have to be 200 days.
Yeah, over time.
Yeah, nuts. But what about Brunson? He torched him in the first, and then out of nowhere, the Killer Gorilla goes out and he rocked him with one, and then jumped on his opportunity and got the job done with the elbows.
After that shot, Bronson was like a completely different fighter to the point where I think he had a concussion. That's to me what it
tend to agree.
Like. Yep. Like he's not knocked out. He's 100% not there, and everything was just slow for him, which you don't want to have when you go on and got Cannonier across the cage from you. So he was leading that fight, won the first round, doing the job, but yeah.
First loss for Blonde Brunson.
Yeah.
Blonde Brunson had 5 in a row.
He's now Blood Brunson, I think. Poor fella. That's what Cannonier said straight after the fight. So that's the quote. But once you slow down, losing the pace, you don't want Cannonier across from you. So he got the job done.
No.
Running through the other fights that started the main card. Brazilian's going to Brazil. Renato Moicano getting the Texas native Alexander Hernandez. You could see in the first round, just wanted to get him to the ground and try out his BJJ. He got his wish in the second and got on the back and rear naked choke. Game over for Alexander Hernandez. A very interesting fight there and technically brilliant there for Renato Moicano. Hernandez is 35. You'd think maybe getting close to pulling the pin. And Moicano coming up the division with elite BJJ. You guys see Bobby Green?
Yes.
Doing a somersault into the ring. He's like an Energizer bunny. He looks a step quicker than anyone else in that division.
Late boxing, I think is. I think the all chats all during the week since this has been his boxing prowess at the lightweight division is some of, if not the best, because his hands were electric in this one. Really, really dominated.
Get a few Floyd vibes. Like obviously that's a big name, but he can't get hit. He I don't know if he took many shots.
Head movement or just dance around the ring?
Just all of it. Like it's like you look at Bobby at the end of the fight and he's sweating. He's sweating because he's working, but there was nothing on his face.
I think again, it also comes down to MMA boxing as well. Like it's on a completely different level to his opposition. So he is one of the best boxers in UFC, which is a far cry better than a lot of the others are. So interesting for him. I think he's main eventing next week. He's fighting again in 10 days' notice. So,
Jesus Christ!
If you want to find that,
that's unreal.
I'm not sure.
And that's a testament to what we're just saying. The bloke didn't get touched.
And it's a big step up for him. So I think it's against the up-and-comer from Dagestan. It might be Islam. And that's who he's fighting because Benadiris had to pull out with injury.
Monks will bring that one up while we talk.
Just search UFC and then
quickly about cards. Andre Arlovsky. We're talking about people.
Timeless wonder.
People that weren't born in the 90s. What about this guy was fighting in the 90s? Started in the UFC 1999. He's 43. Age is just a number. Possibly the Tom Brady of the UFC. He got Jared Vanderaa. A split decision, but I had Arlovsky winning this one. DC. We're not that far, unrelated. He called him Jared Vendetta, so that might be a good nickname for him. V for Vendetta. And Arlovsky just does this to the young up and comers. He goes, "I've been here, I've done that."
Yeah, he's a big time gatekeeper.
Big time. Does he take another fight at 43? If he's still winning,
if they allow him, he will take.
If he's still winning, yeah. And what about again another Aussie that will claim Casey O'Neill?
Yes.
She sounds like this. She's from fucking Dublin or no, Dublin's in Ireland. She's from Glasgow.
You sound Irish, so I was wondering where you're going.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounded like Conor McGregor. Let's delete that from the tape. That was really awful. Scottish impersonation. There we go. Groundskeeper Willie. That's a bit better.
Just need that reference.
UFC Fight Night 202, James.
So she beat another Texas native in Roxanne Modafferi, and the crowd was booing her. The disrespect out of Houston, Texas. And she told him to fuck off. She gave him double birds. She said, "Fuck off, let me..." No, I'm going back Irish. She was sounding a lot like Groundskeeper Willie and doing her best Scottish impersonation. Much better than I can do. Might need a little bit of work on that one. I need a little bit of prompting. That was more like Manchester, I think, maybe. Anyways, it's the final round. This is what you cop 2 hours in. Did we find where Bobby Green is fighting, who he's fighting next?
Yeah.
Can anyone in the comments do a Scottish accent, please?
We'll need to find it out first. Yes, he is fighting Islam Makhachev.
Makhachev.
Can you get a ranking on him too?
Makhachev?
Yep.
Yes. I did have that up.
Good listening here.
Good listening. They are fighting in Las Vegas. I think they're both currently unranked.
Oh, is Islam unranked?
No, sorry, he's 4th ranked.
He's 4th, yeah, and because he was fighting Darius. Darius. Where's Darius?
Third.
Darius.
Yeah, so it was 3 and 4, and then Bobby Green, who's just coming off that win being unranked, I think.
Yes.
Has been thrown straight in there into the main event for this fight card to take on number 4. So good luck to him.
Well, imagine if he wins.
Yeah, Matt, yeah. We were just talking a week ago about, I'm concerned about, the fella from Western Sydney going up a big time class step, and he goes out and knocks out the 3rd ranked heavyweight in the world. So who knows? The Winter Olympics is still going on. that 15-year-old Russian tested positive. Can you chase up what she tested positive to in the figure skating? Shy Carrie Richardson.
Some spicy juice.
Yeah, she came out and said, I smoked weed and I'm not allowed to go to the Summer Olympics. Someone test positive for a performance-enhancing drug during the Olympics and is still allowed to skate. Alas, she fell and she came fourth in the figure skating. Russians cheating at the Olympics, water wet.
Sorry, before we get into that, just back to UFC real quick. So fight night happening is it this weekend?
Next weekend.
Next weekend. We've got Jessica Rose Clark on the prelims, another Aussie, up and coming.
go.
So,
What's the main card there?
main card is Johnny Walker.
Keep
Johnny
on walking.
Oh, this week.
Hill,
Jamar
yeah.
Hill. Yep.
Luck. Johnny Walker, he's a scary dude. Scary dude.
He is.
Cole Dawkins didn't fight long ago either. There we go. We'll keep an eye on that one.